We are here with Devin. How are you, Devin?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing exceptionally wonderful today.
Is it because you're interviewing me?
It's exactly because I'm interviewing you. I like your beard.
Yes, ever since this started, I've decided to grow it out like everyone else in the world, and it's the first time I'm actually growing a real beard, so I'm impressed. I didn't think I could do it. Exactly.
Devin, we've known each other for a while now, best period of your life. Tell me, tell the people that are watching this, who are you?
I am Devin. Hi, nice to meet you. I work for a company called Fourth Whale Marketing. Fourth Whale Marketing is the company that runs RabbitsReviews, the best porn, Rabbits Cams, Cam Rabbit, Top Chats, My Fave Sex Cams, VR porn sites, just to name a few. Essentially, we're one of the few and one of the oldest independent affiliates out there. So we work with pretty much everyone in the industry, pay sites, cam sites. And we promote them. Cam sites we're big. We have lots of white labels. And pay sites, obviously, there's very few review sites left in the industry. We have two of the biggest. So we're the ones working with every single pay site, reviewing them and driving traffic.
How did this start? Was it just because you are such a big fan of pornography?
No, actually, I'm not a founder, so I can't take credit. About 16, almost 17 years ago, Mantis, our president, he was a fan of porn. He was exploring. He noticed that there was a webmaster link on the bottom of some of the websites, and he said, "Oh shit, I could actually earn money by referring people to these porn sites." And then he sort of looked at what was missing in the industry, and like any other industry out there, before you buy something, you want to do research, you want to look it up, you want to understand what you're actually about to purchase. So he started writing reviews, and RabbitsReviews was created. Within a year, he hired his first two writers. One of them actually still works with us 17 years later. He's still reviewing porn on a daily basis. And that's sort of how it was created. And over the years, obviously, we pivoted over to cams. I think it's about 6 years ago now, we purchased The Best Porn, which was our #1 competitor, and sort of just been growing steadily since. We're a team of about 35 people now in Montreal. I myself, I run the marketing and sales department. So that's everything from product management. So we do all the web optimizations, the design, the optimizations. On my team, I have media buyers, I have designers, I have UX specialists, customer supports, social media, sort of everything related to marketing and sales.
How big is the team that you manage?
Team is about 10 people. Half of them are product managers, so they're actually handling the web properties, and everyone else is sort of service providers to them.
Okay. Have you been what's your background? Were you working in something like this before you came into the industry?
So similar, but not really. I started my career actually as a graphic designer. My father owned a sort of advertising promotional company, and I did all of the graphic work for him. After that, I started my own company where I was doing essentially computer services, web services, for small businesses here in Montreal, taking care of their networking, taking care of their workstations, setting them up online. Obviously, that was back in the 90s, early 90s. So when things were just kicking off and everyone needed sort of that tech person. I did that for about 10 years. And then after that, I actually went into the gambling industry. So I was working for what was the time, it was the leading affiliate marketing software in the gambling industry. I ran their account management team. We were about 20 account managers under me, and we were client-facing, helping them out with how to use the software, how to enhance their sales through the software, get the best tracking out of it. Then after that, I went mainstream to a software development company that produced. Essentially, it was a competitor to Adobe PDF, and we developed that software, and I was the director of operations there. So I did that for about 4 or 5 years, and then came over to Rabbits, and I've been here ever since.
Came over to the dark side.
Exactly, but it's not that much different than gambling. I have to be honest. It's a very similar industry.
So is your graphic designer background the reason why you're so good at editing WhatsApp group photos?
No, I have to give James Dean credit for that. I find the images, and he's the one who has excellent Photoshop skills.
Shout out to Austin for that question, by the way. So, you're definitely not like normal day to day, you're working from an office. How is it now working from your home?
So it's actually kind of interesting. We decided to shut down our office and have people start working from home before the government actually decided to say, hey, it's time to stop and everyone needs to social distance and work from home. So we started about 4 or 5 days before everyone else. At first, everyone thought we were a little bit nuts. We weren't sure if it was the right move to make, but we sort of saw that sort of society was heading in that direction. So it was a little bit of a scramble because we decided on a Thursday and the last day in the office was going to be a Friday. I would say about 3/4 of the team had actual laptops and the rest had desktop computers. So it was a little bit tough to get equipment for everyone. So we had to do some last minute orders. People were taking home screens, monitors, chairs, keyboards, mice. So I would say the first week and a half was a little bit sluggish getting everyone set up, especially technically, making sure that they could access everything. We even sent some of our designers home with like the huge Macs, the 24-inch Macs. We sent them home with the full desktop system. So
I can imagine like the people going.
Yeah. So yeah, it's been interesting. It's definitely been an adjustment. We've always had a work from home policy, meaning a couple days a week. If you need it, you could work from at home. But I mean, that was sort of the exception to the rule. For me, managing the team, it was difficult at the beginning, constantly being pulled in multiple directions. I had to have constant phone calls with them multiple times a day because I wasn't able to just walk out of my office, walk by their desk, see what's up, and have casual conversations. So it was tough at the beginning. It was definitely a learning experience, but I think after this, our communication is going to be better. It's going to be a lot more transparency between what people are working on, and it's also helped me identify the needs of different communication needs of individuals on my team that sort of I would have never known because face-to-face communication is always so much easier.
What do you think that it can be like from what you learned about the communication and everything? What can be applied to every company? Like, what did you learn from this?
I think where we had the biggest difficulty was really managing priorities. We realized very, very quickly we can't work on those small projects, those passion projects that are just nice to have, especially when people are working from at home. We know efficiency is going to be down a certain percentage. It's not going to be the same as when people are forced or have to go into the office every single day. So for me, it was really going back to the basics and really focusing on what is important and what is actually going to have an impact on the business on a day-to-day basis. So we sort of got rid of a lot of the noise, a lot of the inefficiencies, a lot of the shit that we were doing on a day-to-day basis. And we weren't sure why we were doing it. We were just doing it because we've always done it that way. So it's actually sort of brought some of those useless things to the surface, and we were able to clear them out of the way.
No, that's good. How did do you see any changes within like the way that your company works right now with the people that you work with, like business wise?
I would say business wise, no, because obviously with us being in Montreal, obviously lots of companies are in Montreal, but most of the communication is over Skype. We schedule conference calls. We jump on video calls or emails. So working with other companies, working with our partners, it hasn't changed at all. I would say what changed mostly is just our internal dynamics. I mean, I'm talking to my team so much more than I even would have when we're in person. Every little thing that comes up, we just jump on video and we work it out together. So I would say more than anything, it's all about communication. It's all about people not only communicating and understanding and knowing the value of their work, but also sort of understanding how that impacts other people and impacts sort of the workflow, because especially when you're working remotely, people are relying that much more on each other because you can't just go and knock on their shoulder and be like, what's up with this project? Like, are we still on time?
That's true. That's true. We've met at shows, as we've met everyone in the industry,
Yeah.
basically. What are you looking for when you're going to shows?
It's really like for us, it's different than I think a lot of the other companies out there. It's to reinforce relationships, to identify new trends and new things that are popping up in the industry. But at the end of the day, it's really to have that face-to-face time that you don't have when you're obviously halfway across the world, talking to people, to sort of enhance deals, understanding what's changing in their business, what's coming up down the pipeline, so that we could help others. Because at the end of the day, all that we're doing is we're promoting other people's products. We don't have a product of our own. So the more, I guess, closer grasp that we have to what they're working on, what's coming up, what the new trends are, it's going to allow us to promote it that much better.
That's good. Is there anything new that you've come up with during this time?
I don't think that there's anything new, but it's sort of like I said, back to basics for us. It's all about traffic. It's all about conversions. It's about SEO. And sort of what we're working on from a technology stance is stuff that is going to automate, to better our systems, to make processes that much easier, things that we've been doing manually, whether it's pulling reports, whether it's switching up banners on ad spots. We're looking at all kinds of ways to automate that and sort of use AI as much as possible to help make sort of data-driven decisions in a more automated way.
Okay, that's interesting. Tell me a bit about so you do SEO as well, right? For the companies that you work with.
Yeah.
Have you noticed, like, are you using something specific now for, during this time period?
So, well, first of all, we don't do SEO for the companies we work with. We do SEO for our own internal properties. So that I would say that hasn't changed that much, but from I want to say an SEM stance. So things like AdWords, things like our banners, things like even our promos that we're running on RabbitsReviews. Instead of just doing like, I don't know, a St. Patrick's Day promo, we're also running a COVID-19 sort of stay at home or working from home promo. So we've tried to adapt to people's new reality, because that's really what it is. At the end of the day, a lot more people are at home. A lot more people are bored. Fortunately, they're still paying money for porn, and if anything, I think the industry as a whole are seeing a nice little bump during this time. So it's a matter of just staying in tune to what people are looking for in these times and trying to serve it to them.
What's your do you have any predictions for like what's gonna happen in the next, I don't know, 2 years, 3 years due to this thing?
So to be honest, I don't know. I don't think any of us in the industry would have expected sort of some sales growth throughout a pandemic like this, because obviously the first instinct is people are losing jobs, there's less disposable income, so maybe they're going to spend less on something like porn. But we've seen the opposite of that. So to be honest, I don't know. I think what it's going to come down to is how long this lasts for, how it impacts the economy. Will the economy sort of restart, at least in certain areas, and people will be going back to work? So it's sort of almost those like wait and see time and see how things are going to adapt. But I have to say, you can't be just sitting back and waiting. You have to keep innovating, looking for new opportunities, looking for new traffic sources, and trying to understand what the users want, and always adapting to what their intent is and what their needs are.
A lot of people have, I'm guessing you saw you're on social media as well, so you've seen people starting to work out, they're cooking, they're doing all these new things. Have you developed a new hobby, a new way of life?
I'm definitely not exercising like I thought I would do, but that's a consistent thing with me, so we'll just push that to the side. Cooking, definitely. So obviously a lot less eating out, a lot less ordering. We're cooking, we're finding just fun recipes that are easy to make. Austin and I are actually, we share recipes every once in a while, so that's fun. So I'd say that's the big thing, and just taking a walk. I think that's like the only type of joy that we get these days. So thankfully I have my dogs. A couple times a day I actually get out and walk, get some fresh air. So otherwise you're cooped up in the house.
That's true. It's just like I don't have even cockroaches, so I need to go and
No, you do. You just don't know. I'm sure you have cockroaches.
Thank you so much. I'm gonna sleep so much better tonight. I do like living in Cyprus. This is like the island of cats. It's
Right.
insane. So what I do is I hear them fight outside. So I go outside, pretend I have a pet, and I walk around, or I get like this cat food, and I walk with it. So the cat walks with me.
That's a little creepy. I'm not going to lie. Are you going to become a crazy cat woman?
I think I'm over that phase. Like I'm actually thinking of adopting one of the cats just to,
You should. Just get a feral cat, bring it into your house, and see what happens.
I mean, yeah. So the last time we saw each other was in Vegas.
Vegas, yeah.
Great show. Great times. Great time in Vegas. We ate half a cow there.
We did. Oh yeah, we ate half a cow, and we had some great sushi also.
We did. I'm so sorry again, Joel, for spitting sake in your face.
No, don't apologize. He wanted it. He really, that's everything that he wanted out of that night.
This is going live though. This is going.
I'm okay with that. Hey, Joel.
Hey, Joel. Yeah, so Vegas was super fun, but we're like, I'm really looking forward, for September for Bucharest Summit to happen. Is it your first time that you're gonna come to Bucharest, Romania? Yeah,
it's really the first time. I sort of see it as like the show that's replacing Amsterdam at this point. So it's gonna be good. I'm hoping to obviously meet some key decision makers in the industry, both CAMs and PACE sites. And I think it's just going to be overall a good time because it's hopefully it has to be after the pandemic, and it's going to be the first time that everyone comes together after this crazy weird time of being cooped up for so long. So it's going to be exciting.
Absolutely, we're so looking forward to it. It's just like, oh, come on, now it has to, Just stay the fuck at home so we can have a show in September.
That's it. If people do what they need to do and just stay the fuck home and don't go outside, then fingers crossed, everything's going to be open by then.
Absolutely. What do you think we should like all learn from this, both like in our personal life and business wise?
I mean, there's so much. I mean, on a personal life, we just have to be happy for our health. Right, our health and our safety that we sort of take for granted on a day-to-day basis. I mean, just going to the grocery store, I still go obviously once a week, and now I have to stand in line to get groceries, whereas before it was just super easy whenever I wanted, because stores here are open till almost 10 o'clock at night. I could just drive over and do that. So sort of thank God for our health and our freedom on a personal level. I would say on a professional level, the one thing that's at least I'm learning about more and more, and I think my team's going to be stronger about, is sort of just understanding each other's needs, because I think working remotely, you start to understand what individuals' needs, how they need to communicate, the best way to collaborate. And then when we come all back together and are actually finally back in the office and able to work in a normal way, we should be that much stronger of a team. We should understand each other that much better. So if anything, as a team stand, I think it's actually going to strengthen us.
That's a good way of looking at it. That's a really good way of looking at it. A lot of people have been losing their jobs though in this. So many people have been like, okay, well, we don't kind of need you, in the company. And this is like you said, the little things that don't matter have surfaced, and it's like, okay,
Yeah, for sure. I mean, so many people have lost their jobs or been put on furlough, which means they're temporarily laid off. Here in Canada, we've actually been super fortunate, even though it's going to force us to be in a deficit for, 10, 20 years. But anyone who loses their jobs, anyone who sort of loses more than 30% of their revenue, the government is supporting them. So you're able to get money super, super easy. Essentially, you lose your job or you lose part of your job or some of your contracts, they're going to be depositing $2,000 into your bank account for 4 months, and you won't even have to worry about it. The government also has plans for any company that can't sort of pay for their employees anymore. They're paying 75% of their salary for the company. So the government here is doing a lot. Obviously, economically, it's going to hurt us in the long run. So going to stay out of sort of the political side of this, but at least from a social side, people are being taken care of here in Canada.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
That's a great thing. Well, thank you so much for taking your time to talk to me, to share
No problem.
your thoughts and feelings, and letting us see your new beard.
Yeah, another figure 2 months of this, a month and a half, and we'll see what it looks like.
We'll see. Austin has the same.
Yeah, Austin has his big beard, but he also has his long hair. My hair is getting completely crazy. For those who know me know that I go for haircuts every 3 weeks. I have a standing appointment every 3 weeks, and I haven't had a haircut now in 9 weeks, so I'm going a little bit crazy and pretty much only wearing hats.
Well, I hope that we're gonna get out of this as soon as possible, so we can.
For sure, we need those important things like haircuts to come back.
Absolutely, and nail salons.
Yes, exactly.
Those important things for our economy. Thank you so much again, Devin. It was an absolute pleasure to see you and talk to you again.
It's always a pleasure, Andra. Always.
Love.
I'll talk to you soon.
Soon.